what way is the fishing village like the place you live, and in what ways is it different? What do the men do? Do you remember? What do the women do? And what do the children do? I hope you enjoyed our lesson, and until next time, boys and girls, this is Miss Matson saying goodbye for now.
This is WVIZ, TV 25 in Cleveland.
George, this is no way to be scrubbing the floor.
I was moving the back so I could scrub better.
Does opening the box make you scrub better? Why, those were your father's surveying chains. Have you never seen them before?
I don't think so, Mother.
I see you have been experimenting. This is a transit, or a tripod, and the compass sits right on top. Here.
Compass?
But it should be in the box. Your father always surveyed any property he bought to make sure of its boundaries.
Father knew everything, didn't he?
Not everything, son. But he was a fine man. He had more knowledge than most men in the colony. His instruments are no good to us now. Tomorrow, take them to the smith. He can use the metal.
May I keep them? Because they were Father's.
All right, if you like. And you may keep the box in your room. But now get back to work and you scrub this floor.
Tomorrow, I shall begin to learn surveying.
At the time his father died, 11-year-old George Washington was living with his brothers and sisters and mother on a farm near Fredericksburg, Virginia. There he grew into a strong, active youth with excellent manners and a deep interest in the land. By the time he was 21, George owned over 4,000 acres of land, much of it bought with money he had earned. He managed the family plantation at Mount Vernon and was a surveyor of proven ability and honesty. On top of that, he was a major in the Virginia militia and the adjutant general for the Southern District of Virginia, responsible for the training of colonial troops. He was well equipped for the jobs, for he made friends easily and commanded respect. Also, he was a good marksman and one of the best horsemen in Virginia. In the French and Indian War, Washington, fighting on the side of the British, distinguished himself as a military leader and hero. In 1759, he married Petite Martha Custis, a wealthy widow with 2 small children. The Washingtons settled in Mount Vernon, where George lived the life of a gentleman farmer and served as a member of the House of Burgesses. Meanwhile, trouble had been growing between the colonies and Great Britain. By 1764, colonial ports were closed to all but English ships. The great crisis of the Stamp Act was followed by the Boston Massacre. And in quick order, Britain imposed more unfair taxes, dismissed the Virginia Assembly, and denied colonists the right of trial by jury. All of this served to kindle the flame that rallied those first great American patriots to the First Continental Congress in Philadelphia in September 1774. When asked who were the most important men at the Congress, Washington's fellow Virginia delegate, Patrick Henry, declared,
If you speak of eloquence, I say Rutledge of South Carolina. But if you speak of sound judgment and solid information, then Colonel Washington is undoubtedly the greatest man on the floor.
Matters grew worse, and 6 months later at the Second Virginia Convention, Patrick Henry hurled this challenge at his fellow patriots.
Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
3 months later, at the Second Continental Congress, 43-year-old George Washington was unanimously elected Commander-in-Chief of the colonial forces. Washington had to face the might of Great Britain's imperial forces when he had nothing to fight with. Never enough soldiers, not enough guns and ammunition for those he did have, not enough clothes, not even food. Oh, and no pay for his men, for Congress had no money. But George Washington knew what he had to do, and he made the most of what he had.
We are outnumbered 5-1, sir, and Howe has just taken White Plains. Dare we encounter him?
We're not equipped for battle against these forces, and if we fight and lose, the whole cause of independence may be lost with us. Whatever we do, we must keep the army together.
What you are saying is that we must retreat further?
For a time.
Could we not at least harass them, General?
You speak my own thoughts, Major. But harassing tactics require that we have a shelter back of us. Now, what we must do is cross the Hudson to open country where we have freedom of movement. And a forest. The British do not know how to fight in a forest.
But, General, suppose the British should push on to Philadelphia, sir. What then?
Well, then we shall retreat beyond the Susquehanna River, behind the Alleghenies if necessary, but we shall keep this army intact. As long as we can field an army, the British must keep an army here to fight us. And even the wealthiest nation in the world cannot continue that expense for too long a time.
There were moments of great despair as when Washington and his men suffered through that tragic winter on the bleak windswept hills of Valley Forge, half starved, half frozen.
What you figure we're here for?
To die like rats, all frozen up, that's what.
You're wrong, Jeb. We're here because we're fighting for freedom.
Just look at my bleeding feet, Johnny boy. Call that freedom? Cramps down in my gut because I'm half starved. Call that freedom?
Yeah. Me belly's so empty it's rattling around like a bag of bones.
I'm serious.
You think we ain't, Johnny boy?
Didn't you read that declaration? But once this is over, we all have a better chance at living. The general said so. I trust him.
Don't you? The ragged army survived the winter at Valley Forge and fought on for 6 long years, bringing the war to a decisive end on October 19, 1781, when Lord Cornwallis surrendered to Washington at Yorktown, Virginia. Oh, it was a great victory for George Washington and his Continental troops. On September 3, 1783, in Paris, the peace treaty was signed, recognizing a new nation, the United States of America.
The task of making 13 states into one nation is a difficult one. To survive, there must be a willingness among the people to forget prejudices, to cooperate with one another, and to sacrifice for the good of all. That agreed on. A nation founded on liberty could grow to be a glorious country.
George Washington presided over the Constitutional Convention of 1787, which adopted our nation's Constitution. And then on April 30th, 1789, the first president of the United States, having been unanimously elected to office, spoke these words for the first time ever.
I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Washington National Monument, built in memory of our first president, is one of the truly inspirational sights of our nation's capital. The towering spire of white marble soars heavenward like a dream of freedom come true. And one of the finest tributes ever paid George Washington were these words spoken by a fellow officer. He was first in war, first in peace, first in the hearts of his countrymen.